Hi, we're going to learn how to make this granny square today. We're going to begin with using a chunky yarn. This is a Hayfield bonus chunky, and to use a 6 mm crochet hook. So let's begin with slip knot, and we're going to make 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next, we're going to slip stitch into this first chain, this one. So skip 1, 2, and 3 and go into the first one. So 4th from our hook. I'm going to slip stitch. So go in, go through, and go through again. That's your slip stitch. And you have formed a tiny circle here. Make sure you put your finger here so that you can see the circle, because we are going to make the rest of our stitches within that circle. Chain 2. This counts as our first treble, and then we are going to make our first, this space here. So if you've just done our chain 1, which is counting as our first treble, and then we're going to make a next 2 trebles and then chain 2. Okay, so treble into the same circle. You're using UK terminology. So treble is yarn over, you have 3 loops on your hook, pull through and pull through again. So you've just made your first cluster, which is this one. Now you're going to make a corner. We have 4 such clusters in this row, and we're going to be having 2 chains in each corner and 3 clusters of 4 clusters of 3 trebles each. So for the corner, I'm going to make a chain 2, chain 1 and chain 2, and then I'm going to go into the same circle. I'm going to make 3 trebles, which is going to form our next cluster. So first treble, this is my second treble, and then this is my third treble. Right, so this, as you can see, the corner has started to form, and I'm going to form the next corner by doing a chain 2 again. You're going to repeat this till you have 4 clusters of 3 trebles each. So this is my next cluster. First treble is done, second treble, and my third treble. Now you can see it's almost forming. Three clusters of 3 trebles each have been done. The last cluster is remaining, and for my next corner I've done a chain 2. Then I'm going to go back into the same circle and make 3 trebles. Okay, now I've finished with 4 clusters of 3 trebles each, and I've got 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to make the 4th corner over here. So it's got 4 corners and 4 clusters. So chain 1 and chain 2, and now I'm going to slip stitch on top of my first chain 2 space, which I counted as my treble. So this is chain 1, chain 2, and this is the top of that space. So I'm going to go into that space and do a slip stitch on top of it to complete this row. Okay, now I can clearly see my corners, my 4 corners, and my 4 clusters. Now to make the next row, let's go. This sample has 2 rows of granny squares, but you can keep repeating it until you make a bigger size of sample. All you have to do is you have to keep increasing on the side. So in every corner you will have a 3 treble, chain 2, 3 treble. Okay, so for the second row we are going to begin with a chain 3 instead of a chain 2. Reason being that we need to go from here to here. So now this chain 3 is our treble for the last space here. And now we're going to skip straight into the next gap here. So I'm going to make a treble here, 3 trebles. So 1, 2, and 3. Make a chain 2 and another 3 trebles in the same gap. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to go straight into my next gap, which is this, and do the same thing. 3 trebles, chain 2, and 3 trebles. So 1, 2, and 3. Then I have a chain 2, and again you have 3 trebles. So 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to continue doing that in the next one here. So again, chain 3, sorry, treble 3, 1, 2, and 3. It's 3 trebles. And we're going to have chain 2 and another 3 trebles in the same gap as this, just the one that we've done. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now you can see it's forming, and we are now left with our last gap here. Now over here we're going to go and do 3 trebles. So our first cluster, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do our normal chain 2, and then we're going to do 2 trebles, because this is going to be our 3rd treble, and the slip stitch will go on top of this here. Okay, so we're now going to do 2 trebles. So 1 and 2, because this chain 3 that we did in the beginning of this row is classed as our first treble, and we're going to go and do slip stitch on top of this chain 2 space. Okay, so we've now completed our granny square. Now if you want to keep increasing the size of this, you could use different colors if you wish, and this is how it looks. If you want to keep increasing it, in the middle you'll have 1, and in the side you'll keep increasing it, and in the middle, as you increase, you'll have more on the sides.